There isn't much time left. You are the ones who will remain. Someone needs to keep everything and everyone in order. Otherwise, light will expire.
But...
I'll select 4 others from the dandelions. The 5 of you will each lead a union, as the 5 of us have. You won't be alone in this. The 5 of you can work together.
the 5 of us.
This secret must stay with the 5 of you. When all is said and done, you must come to the fated land. You'll be joined by 4 others.
Am I the second to arrive?
Huh? Skuld? Well, this is a surprise.
Disappointed? I, on the other hand, had a feeling you might be here.
Of course not. We came here once right after the war, remember? I just thought I'd never see you here again.
This whole thing is a big secret. We weren't supposed to tell anybody.
I suppose you're right.
I wonder who the others are.
I don't know. I wasn't sure I believed Master Ava when she said others would come, but now that you're here...
Look! Someone's coming!
Oh.
Welcome! You're number 3. I'm Skuld. Nice to meet you.
Oh, thanks. You too.
So, Master Ava talked to you too, huh?
Yeah, she said I should come here when everything was over, and that I was one of the 5.
I got the same speech. I'm Ephemer, by the way.
I'm Ventus. Call me Ven. You two know each other, huh? Must be nice. I've always been on my own.
I was pretty much on my own too.
I wonder why I was chosen for this. I'm not especially good at anything, and I'm never at the top of the rankings.
I'm sure Master Ava has her reasons.
You think so? I don't know her all that much. I've barely spoken with her.
She's easy to talk to, that's for sure.
You say that about everyone.
What? Not true.
I sure wish I had friends.
You do. Right here.
Yeah.
Friends. Cool.
Huh? You must be number 4.
The name's Brain. Pleasure. Thought I'd be the last to arrive. Guess I'm not so lazy after all.
I guess not.
So, you the leader?
No, we haven't decided any of that yet. I think we should wait until we're all here.
You got it. Hey, about the rules. Think they're set in stone, or more like a guideline?
They're rules. Of course they're set in stone.
Huh, I get it. You're the serious one, like Master Ava.
Huh? You're not the first person to say that.
I thought you seemed familiar.
But Master Ava is so amazing.
What does that mean?
But seriously, how do we know we can trust her? She's forcing us to lie to everyone, since we're the only ones who are supposed to know the truth.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it either.
But
I thought you might say that, but I wonder if you would feel the same if you were there to witness the end.
Rules are rules. I don't want anyone else to have to carry the burden of the past.
Got it. I trust you'll guide us down the right path.
Same here.
Just one more.
Oh, how much longer are they gonna be?
Not much longer, I hope.
I'm gonna take a look around.
I'll join you.
Look.
Oh,
Someone's coming.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
Well, you did. How do you plan on making it up to us, number 5?
Number 5. Then I must be the last one.
Don't worry about it. I'm Ephemer.
Skuld.
I'm Ventus. Call me Ven.
Name's Brain.
I apologize for making you wait. I was searching for something and time got away from me. My name is Lauriam. It's nice to meet you all.
Stand ready.
Our bonds unsevered.
Some things aren't for you to know.
We're here together.
Where am I?
Are you okay?
Was it all a dream?
You've been having that dream a lot since that day. The day Master Ava invited you to join the Dandelions, and you talked to Skuld at the Fountain Square right before she went off to join them. You look like you were having a nightmare. Why don't you take it easy today and get some rest?
I think I will. How long was I asleep?
No longer than usual. Good night.
Nightmares?
Uh-huh. It's hard seeing Damien like that, and I hate lying, but I know it's for the best.
It is. And it might be hard, but you're doing a great job.
Of course, we're best friends.
I can tell.
Chirithy, don't forget about your task.
I won't. Union Cross, right?
That's right. New adventures with friends is a great way to bury sad memories deep within one's heart.
And we can't stand to lose anyone now. The darkness in this world is not the same as what we faced in the other one.
Different? How?
It feels more complex, like there's more to it than meets the eye. Almost like it has its own will.
Don't worry, we'll look into it. In the meantime, you know what your job is. Fill Damien in on everything, okay?
Will do!
What was that about? There's no need to worry anyone until we know for sure what it is.
I know. I'm sorry, but this concerns everyone. I get a really bad feeling every time something happens in this world that didn't happen in the other one. This Union Cross business also feels off. Something's not right.
But we were told to make it happen. It's in the rules, remember?
I know, but may your heart be your guiding key.
So this is the master's room.
Try not to touch anything.
Why not? It's ours now, isn't it?
I suppose you're right.
What now?
We should decide on union leaders.
About that. I don't know if we should be assigning people just yet.
Huh.
Interesting, but a wise choice.
We should keep the 5 unions as they are for now. As for who goes where, we'll need to discuss that in length.
To avoid repeating history.
Exactly. I don't want people being loyal to only their own unions.
Doesn't the rulebook say we need to assign new leaders?
Yes, but it doesn't state when.
Got it. No need to hurry then.
It's an important decision. We'll need to think long and hard.
I agree.
Ben?
Sure, if that's what everyone else wants to do.
You can speak up if you don't agree.
It's not that. I'm still not sure about leading my own union. At least if we all put a lot of thought into it, I'll feel more confident about the whole thing.
Grow a backbone, will ya?
You are not weak, Ven. You're kind.
You really are.
Then it's settled. Oh, and to avoid any confusion or chaos, let's not say a word about the foretellers to anyone just yet.
That is wise. As planned, all the Keyblade wielders are undergoing their training again. It may be a good time to discuss the issue when that's over with.
All right.
Okay.
Change the subject. I think I found our first task.
Oh, wow!
They're adorable!
Spirits?
Yep. What better way to celebrate our own promotion than by granting everyone their own companion?
Yeah!
What do you think?
What do you mean, companion?
Someone that'll come along for the ride. Like Chirithy. Spirits don't have as many powers as Chirithy, but they can devour nightmares.
Nightmares?
Uh-huh. It's hard seeing Damien like that, and I hate lying, but I know it's for the best.
It is. And it might be hard, but you're doing a great job.
Of course, we're best friends.
So they can forget about the past.
That's right. If every wielder has one of these spirits, the tragedy will be forgotten in no time. Problem solved.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah!
Let's do it!
But do we even know how?
We can make one using an archetype, but... I'll need materials. I'll stay here and get things started. You guys are going on a scavenger hunt.
Is it a long list?
This might take a while.
I'm sorry, but I'll have to pass.
Then help me out with this.
That I can do.
We'll be back soon.
Counting on ya.
Hi, Chirithy.
Hi, Chirithy.
You're Damien, aren't you?
That's right.
That's right.
This might sting a little.
Huh?
Ow! What was that for?
This!
What's that?
I have a present for you. A little thank you for all your hard work. Dun 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 dun! It's your very own spirit.
Spirit?
This little one will join you on your adventure. Play nice, okay?
You finally showed up. Look at this mess, Kupo. Water damage is serious business, Kupo. My regulars won't be happy if I have to close shop. Make it stop, Kupo.
Is this our lucky day or what? A new breed?
Focus. It looks formidable.
That means plenty of Lux for all of us.
Nap time's over. Help us out, will you, Kupo?
Not so fast. Right behind ya.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Hey, wait for me.
Well, what are you waiting for, Kupo? That monster is responsible for this mess! Are you going to let it get away with this, Kupo? Woe is me, Kupo.
We're so close!
I'm exhausted, Kupo. I can't fight anymore.
Is it my imagination, or does it look bigger than before?
Thanks a million. That was close.
Phew! Good as new, Kupo. You're back! The water's gone. All because you got rid of the Heartless, Kupo. Now I don't have to close up shop. Doesn't it feel good helping others, Kupo? Welcome to my shop, Kupo. Do you like the new decor? Doesn't it feel like a brand new store? Tell all your friends, Kupo. Wait! You forgot to buy something, Kupo. This is strange, Kupo. I heard that a little remodeling would equal big business.
Where's the fire?
That's the Moogle we know and love.
It's a sworn duty to collect money. Like it's our duty to collect Lux.
Money makes the world go round, Kupo.
Well, I should scoot. See ya.
Let me know if you hear about anything exciting.
It's all about teamwork in the end, isn't it?
Hooray for friends, Kupo.
They're right, you know. It's about teamwork and friends. Because those friends, one day, they will become your power. I heard that people are designed to shove all their sad memories deep down inside in order to protect their hearts. If that's true, was it really necessary to overwrite the memories of all these people? Memories shouldn't be forgotten, even the sad ones. Maybe that's easy to say when they don't belong to me. But while they can be hidden deep inside, the wounds and scars remain. Forgetting doesn't mean it never happened. Your memory was overwritten with the rest of them. Your sad memories, forgotten. But your heart still bears the scars. If the time comes when you need to remember, I'll be right here by your side to help you.
There you are. Excited for today's mission?
Time for some fun.
Not so fast.
Work? I meant work.
Let's get this over with. Quickly.
That's that.
You mean...
Yep. Time for Operation Fun in the Sun.
Finally, let's get changed.
Let's go home. The Keyblade holds the power of light, the power to drive away the darkness. Not everyone can wield the Keyblade. You were chosen because of the light in your heart, and now your Keyblade is brimming with that same light. Because of you, your friends are safe and sound. You're doing good, kiddo. Oh, and I have a little something for you. Dun 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 dun! We make a great team, you and me. What a relaxing day. I wish every day could be like this.
You! I need your help. The market warehouse, now!
I wonder what's going on. Let's find out.
Thanks for being here. Sorry that I couldn't explain things earlier. My friends cornered a new breed of Heartless in the warehouse. They've been in there for a while and I started to get worried. Would you check on them for me?
This one's quick.
It's so dark in here. I didn't see it coming, Kupo.
You're so close. Be careful.
Damien! Darkness has spread to a new world. I'll bet that's where it's going. New worlds to explore, new princesses of light to protect, and new adventures for us to share. We defended the precious lights of these unfamiliar worlds, and over the next several months, you and all the other dandelions completed so many missions for the Union leaders. Your journeys would take you across Daybreak Town, and though we didn't know the whole truth yet, throughout all the worlds of fairy tales, hunting down rare and powerful Heartless with your newfound party members and friends for the Lux they contained. Being a wielder of light lets you meet so many wonderful people, and they all found a special place within your heart. Your fellow Keyblade wielders came in all shapes and sizes, but so many were brave, talented, generous, and kind. Even those that put up a tough outer shell, or acted in mysterious ways. You would soon realize that every person in the community had something special to offer, and did their best to protect the light in their own way. Together, you would celebrate milestones, holidays, and special events, often decorating Daybreak Town to recognize the occasion. Speaking of occasions, it seemed like once a year, some extra colorful fellows would find their way into Daybreak Town and require your help to return home. I felt terrible keeping the truth from you, but a large purpose of these experiences with your friends was to overwrite the tragic memories of the Keyblade War in all of your hearts. The nightmares you had been experiencing were flashbacks to your original life. I don't know why the Master wanted things to be this way, but we Chirithys and your new spirit companions worked to fulfill his wishes. And you began forging new, happy memories to overwrite the terrible ones. Again, there simply isn't time to talk about all the adventures you had, but there were a couple of interesting conversations that were had in the Castle of Dreams and the Enchanted Dominion. Something about that evil fairy just didn't seem right. Dreams really can come true if you believe in them. I wish I could show you dreams that you would want to come true. Oh, nothing. Let's believe so that our dreams come true too. I've had a bad feeling since the moment we set foot in this world. I think it's somehow connected to Maleficent. Good idea! I know you're disappointed, but I can still sense her light. She may be asleep, but her heart isn't. But there's nothing we can do for her. Not right now. We'll come back to help her, okay?
Why does the ending never alter?
Because I knew you would come from the future, Maleficent.
Who goes there? Show yourself!
You can call me Darkness.
Darkness? How curious.
It's clear why you're here, Maleficent. You want to erase your humiliating defeat from history and collect the 7 hearts of pure light. But changing the past is not as easy as you think. There are rules when it comes to time travel. You can only return to a time where a version of you exists. But to do so, you must first separate your heart and body. When that boy pierced your heart with his keyblade, you remembered what you learned from the old keyblade wielder, didn't you? You thought you could finally use it to traverse time.
Perhaps.
But the Master knew you would use that method to come to the past. That's why the Enchanted Dominion was never created in the real world before the Keyblade War.
Enough! Are you saying this is a trap?
Indeed. You see, before the Keyblade War, Keyblade wielders defeated monsters and gathered light from the worlds of the future seen in the Book of Prophecies. But after the war, the Master and Foretellers vanished. And the tragic memories of the remaining Keyblade wielders were overwritten. The worlds from the Book of Prophecies became unreachable. But there, within the data, the worlds were recreated. Including worlds unfamiliar to the real world.
Impossible! Are you implying this isn't the real world?
No. This is a world of data. What has been written here cannot be changed.
I see. So you have me trapped here, away from the real world, because you feared my power.
Not quite. It wasn't your power I feared, but the act of you taking the knowledge of the past to the future. That's why only 6 worlds containing hearts of pure light were created here. I didn't want you learning what happens in that 7th world.
How interesting. Now, what do you intend to do with me? Keep me trapped here in this data world?
No, that I can't do. You must return to your original time.
But travel into the future is impossible.
There is a way.
What's going on?
Oh, hey!
What did you want to talk about? I've got books that need reading.
I'll be quick.
Where's Lauriam?
He's not coming.
Huh?
What?
Then shouldn't we do this some other time?
I'd prefer if all 5 of us were here for this.
Lauriam said you have his support, no matter what.
Huh?
It's simple. He believes in you, Mr. Leader.
But everyone here is a leader.
I guess you've got a point. Well, let's get started for now.
Alright. When we became Union leaders, we all received a copy of the rulebook. Do you remember reading about Shift Pride?
That, right.
You mean the part about Keyblade wielders fighting each other? Sure. Why do you ask?
Wait, Keyblade wielders fighting each other?
Didn't you read the book, Ven?
I did, but I guess I didn't realize what it meant.
Isn't it just a friendly competition? I think everyone could use a bit of entertainment. Besides, it's not like we have much of a choice. It's in the book.
I know, but
I disagree.
Whoa, Ven, when did you grow a spine?
This is serious. I don't like the thought of wielders turning their weapons against each other.
I also disagree. Nothing good will come of it.
Well, it's 2 against 1. It's up to you, Ephemer.
Up to me, huh? I think we should do what it says.
What?
Ephemer!
Lauriam also agrees. So, I guess it's settled.
Not so fast, Brain.
What?
I said we should follow the book, but I don't want other wielders fighting each other. Remember how all the worlds were recreated as Data after the Keyblade War? That means we were also recreated as Data. All of us.
Oh, I get it.
Get what?
People don't have to fight each other. They could fight other wielders' Data instead.
That way we can still follow the rules without actually hurting one another. Right?
Exactly.
I can agree to that.
Yeah, me too.
It's a clever plan and all, but a little too clever coming from you.
Hey! Well, maybe I did have a little help from Lauriam.
Lauriam?
Yeah, a few days ago.
What's the matter? You look troubled.
Oh, hey Lauriam. I was thinking about that Shift Pride thing mentioned in the book.
Oh yeah?
It might just be friendly competition, but I don't like the thought of wielders fighting each other. But it's written in the book, so we have no choice. Why would Master Ava and the others want us to do this?
Maybe it's all just a big prank.
Come on, be serious.
But you smiled. You really need to take it easy. Stop being so serious all the time.
You're right. I have been kind of anxious since I became a union leader. Thanks, Lauriam.
Don't mention it. There are only 5 of us, and we need to stick together.
Where are you going?
Well, once the Keyblade War ended, the worlds were recreated in data along with the people in them. I'm looking for someone who is supposed to have become a dandelion, but I haven't seen them anywhere. So, I thought I'd search the data.
That's worrying. Can I help?
Thanks, but it's a personal matter. I'd like to sort it out myself.
He's looking for someone?
I wonder who.
It seems like a private matter, so let's not get involved. Not unless he asks us to.
You're right.
In any case, we could thank Lauriam for this solution. I wouldn't have come up with it myself. Too bad he's not here to take credit for it.
Are you Elrena?
Yes, I am.
I want to ask you about my sister, Strelitzia.
Strelitzia's gone missing?
Yes, and she mostly kept to herself, so I don't know what happened to her. Yours is the only name I've heard her mention. You two were in the same party a few times, right? I was wondering if you knew anything.
I didn't know her very well. She was on her own most of the time. We would chat about missions, but we weren't what you'd call friends.
I see. She wasn't sure about joining the Dandelions at first, but I managed to convince her. I didn't have many chances to see her after that, and then I realized it's been a while since I'd seen her at all.
I saw her every now and then, but we didn't talk much. She always seemed to be waiting for someone.
Someone?
She used to sit and wait on a rooftop in Fountain Square, but that was a while ago. Remember when Master Ava gave that speech about unions fighting one another? Nothing seemed to come of it. But it was around that time.
Nothing came of it, huh? These must be the new memories they were given. So my sister was around until before the war. She couldn't have gotten caught up in it, could she?
You really care about her, don't you?
You can tell, huh?
I wish there was some way I could help. Oh! Maybe there is. Chirithy!
Here,
Weren't you friendly with Strelitzia's Chirithy?
Yup.
Did you two ever talk about her?
You're a union leader, aren't you?
This is Strelitzia's older brother, Lauriam. She seems to have gone missing. Is there anything you can remember that might help?
When I last saw her, she was searching for someone.
Again, this someone.
She was really curious about them, but she didn't even know their name.
So they weren't friends?
All I know is that it was someone who didn't talk much, but someone she wanted to invite to become a dandelion.
Did you last see her before or after the bells?
Bells? Oh, I think it was before.
I see. So she definitely disappeared before the Keyblade War. Maybe this someone is the key to finding out what happened.
The last time I saw her was around here. I was talking to her Chirithy, but when people went into this house, her Chirithy hurried back to Strelitzia. Shortly after, they announced the new union leaders, and that's when I recognized one of them, Skuld.
Skuld?
Does any of this help?
It does. Will you let me know if you think of anything else?
Of course.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
This is where she was last seen, right? There may be a clue.
Since when do you care about others?
Shush you!
Hi there.
Good, you're here.
I didn't realize you were gonna show up so soon. If I had, I would have waited to talk about shift
Skuld, I need to ask you something.
Me?
So that's what happened.
I'm sorry I can't be of any help.
No, it's fine. Thanks anyway. My sister has such a good heart. I wouldn't be surprised if she accidentally got caught in the war trying to save this someone.
Oh no.
If I may.
What is it?
We know that until the bells rang, your sister was searching for this someone to invite them to join the Dandelions. From this, we can deduce that your sister, who was already a member, didn't see them at Fountain Square during Master Ava's speech. And if this person wasn't there that day, there's a good chance they fought in the Keyblade War. And another thing, your sister was hesitant to become a dandelion, and yet, not only did she join, she wanted desperately for this someone to join too. Puzzling, isn't it?
I think I may know who this person is.
Really?
Someone who's not very talkative. Someone who didn't join the Dandelions.
Oh!
You know who it is?
Uh-huh. A friend of mine. Long time no see. I know we haven't had a chance to talk much lately, but I've been swamped. I've heard that you're doing really well with your missions, though.
You must be busy too, Mr. Union Leader.
Things are a little hectic.
How's Skuld?
Good. She's been a great help.
So, what did you want to talk about today?
Someone wants to meet you. You know the union leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Lauriam. It's nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask you a few questions. Is that alright?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know either, huh?
But it did clear up one thing.
That's true.
Well, I have to excuse myself. There is someplace I need to be.
Do you have to go too?
No. I thought we could spend the day together. If you don't have anything else planned.
Damien. It was nice meeting you. This may not make much sense to you, but please, keep my sister in your heart, okay? Thank you.
What should we do today?
Let's see.
Hey there.
Hi! Thank you for coming.
No problem. Thanks for your help. I've managed to uncover some things since.
That's wonderful! We actually found something too.
Oh?
After you left, we took a look inside.
This place gives me the creeps.
Me too.
Anyone there? Should we head back?
I think we should.
Ah! A ghost!
I wish...
Wait! Strelitzia!
What was that?
Wait!
Strelitzia! Strelitzia! Strelitzia.
We came back a few times, but we never saw her again. Also,
I remembered something. Something Strelitzia's Chirithy mentioned the last time we talked. She doesn't even know their name? Nope. Why does she want to invite them to join the dandelions?
Well, I can't really say much. But she wants to save them from the war that's going to... Huh? What? Sorry, I need to go.
What?
Her Chirithy talked about a war? Are you sure?
Yes.
Master Ava spoke about a war in her speech, but it never happened. And that was strange.
Strelitzia was certain the Keyblade War was going to become a reality. But how could she have known?
Your sister was hesitant to become a dandelion, and yet, not only did she join, she wanted desperately for this someone to join too. Puzzling, isn't it?
Perhaps Brain might know something.
Spit it out, Vin.
Oh, sorry, it's just that you haven't put down that book. I was just wondering what you were reading about.
I knew Ephemer was curious, but Brain, you take the cake.
I have a plan.
Huh?
What kind of plan?
We're still headed for inevitable destruction.
What?
And I'm gonna change that. This world is on a path headed for destruction. Overwriting people's memories of the Keyblade War didn't change that. So, I came up with a plan. I'm going to become a virus and overwrite the program that is this world's future.
I haven't had that much fun in a long time. Thanks, Damien. It's good to take a break every now and then.
I hope we see you again soon.
Of course!
Skuld? What do you think about Brain's plan?
He's called Brain for a reason. He knows a lot more about this than any of us. I just don't understand why the Dandelions needed to be saved from the Keyblade War if we were doomed from the beginning.
I don't get it either. Should we talk to Ephemer and see what he thinks?
I think we should.
Where is everyone anyway? What's that?
Master Aeba?
They're new recruits. Make dandelions. Time comes.
Teach them.
Rolls.
Why is this one circled?
Jackpot! Jackpot!
Pot! Wielder gets free cop the book.
Prophecies.
Book.
A great... Don't you think? Oh.
And it's also
To shape the world into what it's supposed to be.
What's going on? What is this?
Is Brain still here?
Yes, he was headed to the control room.
I'll get him.
Huh? So, it's already begun.
Well, I should be heading back. Huh? Oh.
What is that?
Let's go and find out!
What's going on?
Have they made their way inside?
What is this? Brain! Brain, where are you?
Damien isn't allowed in here.
This is an emergency. Besides, I trust Damien. Let's go.
Ephemer! Thank goodness!
I didn't expect to see you here, Ven.
Well, we were sitting around talking when suddenly Master Ava appeared. Or something that looked an awful lot like her, and,
This is my friend.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
And then what?
Oh, right. And I thought Brain might know something, so I came looking for him.
He's in the control room?
Yep.
Not you.
Huh?
Huh?
They're all around us.
What's happening?
We don't know what's waiting for us in there.
I hope Brain's okay.
Let's find out.
Huh?
Wait a minute. Damien's not allowed in there.
It's fine.
Brain!
Huh? Ephemer. Vin. And you are?
This is Damien, the friend I mentioned before. Brain, what's going on? Some strange things are happening outside.
I've managed to stop the infestation, for now. Let me explain what's going on as simply as I can. Before the Keyblade War, in the world we call Daybreak Town, we were able to visit worlds from the future via the Book of Prophecies. It was like a pop-up book of sorts. It projected the future of worlds that currently existed. Technically, you didn't have to rely on the book to get to these worlds, since they were all connected to Daybreak Town by land. You could have visited the present version of these worlds if you wanted to.
We could have gone to all those places?
Well, it wouldn't have been that easy. The world is a big place, after all. Now, after the Keyblade War, the worlds all broke apart from each other. They were no longer connected. It was written in the book that that would happen, so all the worlds had been recreated as data in preparation to ensure that even without the book, the worlds and their futures would still be accessible through a virtual setting. With me so far?
Yes.
Much like before the war, we Dandelions have continued to visit these worlds by way of the virtual Daybreak Town. From the real Daybreak Town, we make our way to the virtual one, and from there, the world of our choice. Still with me?
I think so. Please, keep going.
Question. Is the Daybreak Town we're in right now real or virtual?
It would make the most sense for this to be the real world.
Right? But there are things happening here that shouldn't be.
So we're in the virtual world.
I wish it were that clear. Like Ephemer said, this should be the real world. And yet those glitches are obviously a phenomenon that belongs in the virtual one.
Then what's going on?
Remember at the beginning I explained that this world is like a portal, connecting to the future of worlds that already exist? That was the case until now. Somehow it's connected to a place that doesn't exist in this world or time.
What? How?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if this is all part of the plan or what. All I know is that we know practically nothing about this new location.
I see.
I also know that the glitches started appearing once we connected to this place. It's impossible to completely sever the connection, but I did manage to stabilize it. We'll have to poke around to get some answers.
You want us to go there?
It's the best way of finding out what's going on.
Alright, I'm in.
What?
I thought you might say that, and while I appreciate the gesture, the leader should stay in case something happens. I think we should send a dandelion. After all, it's just like any other mission.
Huh?
But it's too dangerous.
What do you think?
I'll go.
What?
Damien!
It'll be fine. All you need to do is secure the route, and I should be able to stabilize it so we can come and go as we please from this end. That way, the others will be able to join you later.
I should go too. But, Damien...
Fine. Better two heads than one, anyway. Friendship's a beautiful thing. Just remember, come back immediately if you sense any danger.
Oh, huh?
It's still unstable. Hurry.
Huh. This sure doesn't look like the others.
Maybe we're already there. Ah! Where'd they come from?
We need to get past them.
Not this again!
Get ready! Let's chase after it! Huh? This must be it. Is this the world we were looking for?
I think so. I wonder where all those entrances lead. Look, over there!
Wait, not so fast!
And over there!
We need to find out what's causing the glitches and why the Darklings are here. Let's split up. I'll take the Darklings. Damien, can I count on you to investigate the glitches?
Game Central Station was a special world that connected to many subworlds called video games. These worlds didn't seem to have light and darkness per se, but they were full of people that were aware they were video game characters. Everyone had roles to fulfill to ensure that their video game worked properly, to entertain the players that interacted with these worlds from the outside. Under different circumstances, you're kind of like a player too. Anyway, the world we chased the Heartless into was called Niceland, and here we learned of a villain named Ralph. His role was to terrorize the residents of his video game, known as Fix-It Felix. We didn't know it at the time, but Ralph wasn't really a bad guy, despite how the people of his game treated him. After we had mistakenly rushed in to put a stop to his destruction, he endeavored to earn himself a medal so he too could feel like a hero for once. However, without its designated villain, Fix-It Felix became endangered of being declared out of order and deactivated. We followed Ralph into a different video game called Hero's Duty to bring him home. In this game, players would combat dangerous creatures known as cybugs that would rapidly multiply until the player made it to the top of a giant tower and activated a beacon of light, drawing them all in and ending the game. We chased Ralph through the game to the tower's peak, but arrived just too late. Ralph had grabbed a medal. But the newly hatched cybug had grabbed him. There he is! And the pair accidentally blasted off into a new world. And there he goes. Leaving us in quite the predicament. Uh-oh, I think we might be in trouble.
Ha! Ha! Damien, are you alright?
Ephemer, what are you doing here?
I was chasing that. And it led me to you. Are you with me?
I sure am glad you're here. Good luck, you two.
Let's do this. You said that before, but what do you mean? Did they fuse together? Ah! This isn't good. It looks like that monster somehow absorbed the Darkling into itself. We need to defeat it before it's too late. Are you ready? I see. So you think there might be a link between the bad guy Ralph and the glitches? Damien, can you keep looking into the glitches? I'll head back and inform the others about the Darklings. I'm tasking you with this because I trust you. And I know you'll be fine on your own. Besides, even when we're apart, our hearts are always connected. Don't forget that.
there they go. Those cybugs pose a threat to the world, just like the Heartless. Maybe they're a kind of darkness too. But let's worry about that later. For now, we need to find Ralph, since he might be causing our world's glitches. Now, where were we? Oh! Ralph had crash-landed in a kart racing game called Sugar Rush and met a mischievous girl named Vanellope who stole his medal. Vanellope's body experienced glitches, similar to the ones that were affecting Daybreak Town. But for some reason, being near you seemed to quell their chaotic effects. To cut a long story short, Vanellope was this way because long ago, a character named Turbo from the popular game Turbo Time had become envious of newer, more advanced games. He abandoned his game to try and reclaim his former prestige. But his absence caused Turbo Time to be deactivated, placing the game's digital world into a sort of sleep mode. He snuck into Sugar Rush and tampered with its internal memory, replacing Vanellope, the Princess of Candy Kingdom, with his new persona, King Candy, while also giving himself control over the Heartless. With their memories altered, the other racers of Sugar Rush treated Vanellope as an outcast because of her glitches and forbade her from competing. But with Ralph's medal, she was able to buy her entry into an upcoming race. Ralph and Vanellope gradually bonded over their shared feelings of exclusion, and after a long journey, Vanellope and her brand new kart were entered into the big race. We had learned that if Vanellope competed in a race, the game would recognize its glitched status and reboot itself to its initial, untampered state. And King Candy was determined not to let that happen, resorting to trying to ram Vanellope's cart off the road. Suddenly, swarms of cybugs began attacking the racetrack. The hatchling Ralph accidentally brought with him had been multiplying like crazy below the surface of their world. The creatures began devouring everything in sight, including King Candy. The racers were forced to abandon the race and flee Sugar Rush with their lives. Poor Vanellope was trapped though. Her glitches meant she was prevented from leaving this world and spreading the possible infection to other games. Ralph refused to escape without Vanellope, so you and Ralph set off together to try to activate a makeshift beacon from a giant volcano of mints and cola. King Candy reappeared as a terrifying monster, now fused with the Cybug. You gave your all defending Ralph, and King Candy recognized you as an outsider too, calling you a virus, just like him, before breaking off to attack Ralph once more. Ralph was eventually able to break free and destroyed the volcano, ending the rampaging bug attack as they were bound by their programming to succumb to the light of the lava beacon, King Candy included. Just as we were about to as well, Vanellope saved us in the nick of time. You promised to celebrate and say your farewells with them soon, but there was something to take care of first. You noticed it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Not you.
Not this again. If we're not the ones you're looking for, why are you following us? That does it. I was hoping we could find out what the Darklings are after, but I don't think that's gonna happen. There's only one thing to do now.
Huh?
Just kidding. Good luck. I wonder what it wanted. Wait a minute. The way the bugs are drawn to the beacons. Could the Darklings be drawn to the Keyblade wielders in the same way? Oh, it's nothing. Just thinking aloud. Hey, how do you think Vanellope's doing? Let's go wait at the finish line. With things back to normal, Vanellope completed her race, resetting the game to its default state and restoring everyone's memories of Vanellope Von Sweets, the Princess of the Candy Kingdom. A title that she quickly rejected. She's a princess, but in her heart, she's a racer. It goes to show that sometimes people aren't what they seem. That can be said for anyone. Another version of yourself could be hiding inside your heart. But if that version of you belonged to darkness... Oh, it's nothing. Now that things are back to normal, our world might be fixed too. Let's head back to Daybreak Town to see if the glitches are gone, and to share what we know about the Darklings. If the Darklings are looking for a Keyblade wielder, but it's not Damien or Ephemer, who could it be?
I was a young boy when...
Huh?
What? Even I was a kid once.
Right, of course.
Anyway, I was a young boy when the Keyblade War began.
What? There was a Keyblade War back then, too?
That's right.
Did you have a master of your own? Who was
Who
fighting?
do you think?
Who?
Light and darkness.
Light? There were wielders besides you?
There were. But they don't really count.
And the darkness? Were there monsters like there are now?
Okay, no more questions until I finish my story.
Right. Sorry.
To answer your question, if I had to call them something, monsters would be pretty accurate, but they looked like us.
Oh, so they were human?
I didn't say that. Anyway, the Keyblade War dates back to when darkness took that form. And it's still waging as we speak.
What? It's still going on?
Yes, the battle with darkness never stopped. The Keyblade War isn't about to begin. In fact, it might finally come to an end. Darkness is constantly changing shape. It can even hide among humans. That's the reason the war has never been able to end. The coming battle will end the world. Everything will be destroyed. The wielders sent outside will gather light from the now scattered worlds. And with that light, the world will be rebuilt.
The world will end and be rebuilt?
That's right. You can't erase what lives on in the hearts of children, worlds, and their stories, and most of all, light. Of course, you can't erase the darkness either, but you can call a truce. I could go for a nice long break right about now. Maybe I'll kick back for a while.
What? You're going to sit back and leave the fate of the world in other people's hands?
Why not? That's why I'm having Ava round up the best of the best. They'll start at Kiyah, become unchained, and fulfill their duty through Union Cross. Those wielders will be the cornerstones of the new world.
Cornerstones? But they can come home once they're done, right?
Well, maybe not all of them. What? What is it? What's the problem?
We can't get rid of the darkness in this world, so we're ending it to escape into another one. We can't win against the darkness, can we?
You don't sound too happy about that.
Of course not. As Keyblade wielders, we're supposed to fight against the darkness. But we're just giving up and running away.
It sounds bad when you put it like that.
There's no other way to put it. And we're going to have to keep running wherever we go.
Oh, Luxu. I took you under my wing and taught you everything you know, which is apparently nothing.
What's that supposed to mean?
You think too much. You think and think until you come to some convoluted conclusion. Then you get all worked up thinking that must be the answer. And if you don't understand something, you get all worked up concluding that there is no answer. But the answer will come in time.
So I should just wait and see what happens?
As long as you keep moving forward, you'll wind up somewhere. What is it now?
Well, I don't like the idea of waiting around for something to happen.
So you want to go through life knowing what's coming?
That's not...
There's a way to win against the darkness.
Huh?
But it isn't easy. It takes time and careful planning. So much that you couldn't do it in one lifetime, nor even two. That's why we need to leave this world, to bring it to an end, to abandon the notion of time and what separates our worlds. All so we can defeat the darkness.
How's it going?
Perfect timing. Ephemer just got back, and I was about to ask Vin to go get you two.
Skuld filled me in on the situation. Did you figure out what was causing the glitches?
Sort of. You see, before the Keyblade War, Daybreak Town was recreated as data along with all the other worlds. That's why even though the worlds were destroyed, they're still connected to Daybreak Town, and we're still able to visit them. Or at least their data copies.
It's precisely because they're data that a connection from the real world is possible. But now, a new world has aggressively forged a connection with this one.
My friend and I followed the Darklings there and did some investigating. It looks like that's where the creatures that have been popping up in our world have been coming from.
Do you think the Darklings guided them here?
Most likely, but I can't imagine why.
You know, we saw a glitch that looked like Master Ava here in the tower.
These glitches, they're showing up in town too. I saw one of Strelitzia.
Huh? Your sister?
Yeah. I came here because I thought you might be able to make sense of it.
According to Ephemer, the residents of the newly connected world are aware they live in a data world. That got me thinking. We know the monsters from the new world can infiltrate our world. Vin and Skuld saw a glitch of Master Ava and Lauriam of his sister. We were so sure we were in the real Daybreak Town, but all signs point to this being a data world too.
The real Daybreak Town still exists, right?
What? Please say Daybreak Town hasn't disappeared.
Well, we have no way of knowing right now. I'm fairly confident we were in the real world until all this broke out at least.
So we can't get back? We're stuck here?
We thought we had gone back, but it turns out we didn't. Which means we can't go back the usual way. But if you give me a bit more time, I might be able to figure something out.
Why is this happening?
If I had to guess, there's someone behind all this. That's the only thing that makes sense. I don't know why. But this data world was probably made to be cut off from the real world from the start. There might not even be a reason for it, aside from being a means to some other end.
We escaped the war only to find ourselves trapped in a cage. Irony at its best.
It couldn't have been Master Ava. She gathered us together so she could keep the light alive. She wouldn't trick us like this.
At this point, we can't be sure of anything. We don't know if Master Ava knew about any of this, or who's responsible for the program. In any case, like I said before, I'm going to become a virus and overwrite it.
Where are you going?
Downstairs.
Do you have a plan?
Not yet. I wonder if there's anything written about this. Me? A union leader? You've got to be joking.
I'm serious.
I'm not cut out for leadership. What exactly factored into that decision?
The Master's orders.
Your master? The master of masters?
Yes, and I'm sure you'll do fine.
You say that like it's going to be easy. It sounds like a lot of work. And who are the other four anyway?
I can't tell you that yet.
I get it. The 5 of us are supposed to convene after the war, so you can't have us meeting up and doing something unexpected before then, right? It kinda sounds like you're asking us to be pawns in someone else's game.
Clever as always, Brain.
Thanks, but I'm not sure I'm interested.
What if I told you the fate of this world was already decided?
That'd be terrible.
Why?
If everything's already been decided for you, where's the fun in that?
What if that wasn't decided for you, but you knew what would happen next?
Is this about the Book of Prophecies?
Yes. If you knew what the future held, wouldn't you know how to change it?
That's true. Wait. But if you do change something, isn't that what would be written in the book? How would that work? Does the book get overwritten every time something changes?
We don't know what happens. Maybe it leads to a completely new and undecided future.
Is that what this is about?
No, it's just something I've been thinking about. About what would happen if we altered our fate. This is for you. I was tasked to give this book to one of you.
What? Me?
The Master also gave me this list with the names of the 5 Union leaders. The one whose name is circled gets the book. No one else should read it under any circumstances. I put it between the pages on which your fates are written. Brain, I trust you'll understand my message when the time comes.
Don't worry. I already got your message loud and clear.
Any ideas?
Are you kidding? It's only been a few minutes.
True. The others decided to stay in the control room a bit longer.
Alright.
I know it's not the best time for this, but I spoke with a friend of Strelitzia's. Apparently, before she disappeared, she talked about the Keyblade War, as if she was sure it was coming. You mentioned before that you couldn't figure out why Strelitzia wanted someone to join the Dandelions, when she'd been so hesitant to join herself. I think it's because she knew the Keyblade War was about to become a reality.
But all of the Dandelions knew about the war. They'd known for a while, even a latecomer like her.
Right. She knew about it the whole time, so why would she suddenly try to get Damien to join?
I see what you're getting at. Something made her absolutely sure the war was gonna happen.
I think so.
I won't open the book if I can avoid it.
That's fine. You'll know when it's time.
I might have an idea.
What is it?
Can you give me some time alone to think?
Sure. Let me know if you need any help.
Will do.
So this is Daybreak Town. Such a perfectly foul place that reeks of light. You say this world holds the key to returning to my own time?
Yes.
I knew it. Chirithy?
Long time no see.
Yeah, but you're always nearby, right?
I guess.
I know it's been a while, but I have a favor to ask.
Seriously? You could at least try to butter me up before asking me for something. Unbelievable.
There's not a soul to be seen, so this is also inside the data?
Yes. Head for that tower up ahead.
And I can return to my time from there?
Not directly. From the tower, you can get back to the real world and find the lifeboat that's hidden in the real tower.
Lifeboat?
It was intended to be a way to escape from our world. It was never finished, though, so it's still incomplete.
Incomplete? Of what use is it to me in such a state?
It's useful to you because it's incomplete. You need to escape this time and not this world. In its incomplete state, the lifeboat can't sustain a passenger's body at the speed it moves. Which means if you board it, your body will be lost, leaving only your heart to be transported. Without your body slowing you down, you'll be able to break the time barrier at the speed of light.
Only my heart? What do you propose I do without a body? I'll be no better than a ghost when I arrive.
All you need is a medium to form your body and someone with memories of you. As long as those exist in the future when you arrive, your heart will grow a new body to inhabit on its own.
Mere talk won't persuade me. I need something more substantial. Can you prove that there will be a body for me in the future?
I can. According to the Book of Prophecies, you exist in the future.
You know what's written in the Book of Prophecies?
Maybe not all of it.
I'm surprised you asked me to come all the way out here.
There's something I wanted to discuss with you privately.
The surprises keep coming.
This is where Master Ava told me I'd been chosen to become a union leader.
Really? She brought me here too.
Master Ava was an odd one out among the masters. She was so...
easy to talk to.
Yeah, she was. Ephemer, there's something important I need to tell you.
What is it?
One of the new union leaders was chosen to receive a copy of the Book of Prophecies.
The Book of Prophecies?
Yeah. It was to make sure that even without the Master's guidance, we would be able to recreate the worlds and keep gathering light.
But weren't the other worlds already recreated as data?
Yes, so this is a kind of insurance. Think of it like a backup in case there was a problem with the data. Although, I have yet to actually use it.
What? Brain, you have the Book of Prophecies? Huh?
More importantly, look at this note. The names of the 5 chosen union leaders are here, with the recipient of the Book of Prophecies marked.
This is...
That's right. I'm not the one who was supposed to get the book. But that's not the only thing that's off. One of the other leaders has been replaced entirely. Lauriam's sister, Strelitzia, was originally meant to become a union leader.
That's...
And the one who decided to give the Book of Prophecies to me was Master Ava.
But why?
By changing who gets the book, she was betting on the possibility that the future it contained could be rewritten. It was Master Ava's one act of resistance against fate. At least that's how I see it. But I don't think the replacement union leader was a part of Master Ava's plan.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd like to have a little chat with the replacement.
It sure has gotten chilly.
Yeah, it looks like it might even snow.
I'm not good with the cold.
Really? I kinda like it.
Oh!
Wow, it even snows in the data world.
looks like it. Do you think it's snowing in the real Daybreak Town too?
Maybe. By the way, where are the others?
I think Brain is looking for a way back to our world, probably with Ephemer. And I'd guess Lauriam is off in search of clues about his sister.
Right. So what should we do? How about we make a snowman?
Yeah! It's been a while since we've let loose and had some fun.
Think the others are enjoying the snow too?
Yeah. Ooh!
Aha! I finally found you. I searched the whole tower for you.
Huh?
Could you come with me for a bit? I'm back!
Huh? Great.
Hey guys, what's up?
You brought them both?
I didn't have much of a choice, you know.
Hey, did you see? It was snowing!
But you didn't call us out here to talk about the weather, did you?
You're right, I didn't. There's something I want to ask you. Who told you that you were chosen to be a union leader?
Master Ava.
Yeah, same here.
Brain, maybe we should talk to them separately.
Huh?
Where were you when she told you?
We were right here.
For me, it was near the clock tower.
Interesting.
What is this? Some kind of interrogation?
It's not like that, Skuld.
Are we being suspected of something?
Ventus, Skuld, let me explain. You see, Master Ava entrusted me with something.
Is that the Book of Prophecies?
That's right. And inside it, Master Ava tucked away a note listing the names of the 5 new union leaders. The name of the one originally meant to receive the book is circled.
Originally? It wasn't you?
Nope. I guessed as much when she gave me this. Master Ava wanted to defy fate and change the future, so she gave it to me instead. But something else is off. The list of union leaders itself. One of the names doesn't match up. Lauriam's sister Strelitzia was supposed to be a union leader.
What? So Master Ava swapped out one of the leaders too?
I don't think so. If Master Ava had planned to switch out a union leader, she wouldn't have given me this note in the first place. As for Strelitzia, it might be easy to suspect Master Ava may be involved with her disappearance, but I don't believe she is. She's not that kind of person.
Maybe a replacement was chosen after Strelitzia went missing.
That doesn't add up either. Strelitzia was last seen just before the start of the Keyblade War, desperately trying to get Damien to join the Dandelions. We can assume that this is because she heard from Master Ava that she was chosen to be a union leader and that the war was coming. If Master Ava wanted to switch her out for someone else, even on such short notice, she would have told someone. It would make sense to tell me at least, seeing as she trusted me with both the book and the list of names that was about to change.
That makes sense. Is Lauriam's name on there?
Yeah, it is. We'll discuss this with him later after we know more. He has a lot on his plate right now looking into Strelitzia's disappearance.
We asked you those questions earlier to determine whether or not the replacement knew about any of this. Ephemer and I agreed that even though we know the truth, we don't want anything to change between us.
That's right, and I think we got the answer we're looking for. Like Brain said, nothing changes. We're still a team. We'll keep working together to try to figure this whole thing out.
Ventus, your name isn't on the list.
The defenses here are rather lacking.
This place is off limits, so no one comes in here.
You're certainly knowledgeable about all this. This world, the lifeboat, the lack of defenses. Just who are you?
Think of me as an old friend.
And why would this old friend want so badly to see me back in my own time?
I need you to act as a waypoint.
A waypoint?
Didn't I tell you earlier? In order to travel through time, you need a medium to form a body and someone with memories of you. No one from this world has those in the future. But if we send you back, that all changes. Someone from this time could find their way to you.
And into the future?
That's not important. Getting back to your own time is all that matters, right?
I suppose.
This is the place.
How do we get in? I see. Is this it?
Yes. If you want to go now, this is your chance.
No, not just yet.
I wouldn't waste my time snooping around if I were you.
You see?
What are you doing here? You may want to think carefully before you answer.
Ha!
But Master Ava really did tell me I was a union leader. It's true.
We believe you, Ven.
So it was part of Master Ava's plan then?
No. Unfortunately, Strelitzia is gone, and that's proof enough that it wasn't Master Ava's idea. If it was, she would have taken great care to make sure Strelitzia was safe, not send her off to war without telling her what was happening. And Master Ava's definitely not the type of person to make someone disappear.
Then who did Ven talk to?
Let's think it through. Why were we chosen as dandelions?
To keep Light alive, right?
And what else might want to come along for the ride?
Darkness.
Darkness can hide anywhere, even inside someone.
What a surprise! So you're all trapped here as well.
I don't recall you being invited.
then I'd best be on my way.
This isn't the way out.
Ha! You have no idea what this room is, do you?
Nope. And I can't say I'm interested.
Every cage has a door, even this cage of data. This is that door, and I'll be taking my leave through it, seeing as I'm not welcome here.
Huh. I didn't know this place was so important. I figured it was just a lab or a storeroom.
You were correct. It seems a great deal of research was once conducted here, and what remains of it was left to gather dust. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be on my way.
Darkness disguised itself as Master Ava?
Ventus? Did you notice anything strange when you met with Master Ava?
I don't know.
What did she say to you?
She said she wanted me to become one of the new union leaders. Then she gave me a rule book and told me I should go to the battleground when everything was over and the others would be waiting there.
I recall you saying that when we first met. Anything else?
I remember she told me to come to this old abandoned house.
Wait, didn't you say you met at the tower?
We met at the house first, then walked to the tower while we talked.
Can you tell us more about what happened?
Okay. That day, I went to the abandoned house like Master Ava said. Master Ava? It's me, Ventus! Master Ava! Maybe this is the wrong place. Who's there? I think... That's when Master Ava showed up, and we left the house together. On the way to the tower, she told me I was one of the new union leaders.
You think that's when she came? You're not sure?
I can't remember what happened before we left the house, but I think we left as soon as she got there.
The person who came to the house, was it really Master Ava?
Huh?
Why?
What does this mean?
Let's head back to the tower.
Lauriam!
Lauriam. I knew you'd be here. Taking a break?
Actually, I'm done collecting my Lux for the day.
But it's only noon.
I know, but I finished a while ago. Taking down monsters is easy. What's that look for?
Oh, I didn't realize I was... It's just... I don't know how you do it. You're so amazing.
Thanks.
Me, on the other hand, I spent the whole day getting chased around by them.
You know, your magic is stronger than mine. Stay calm and focused, and you'll be done in no time.
I know, but it's hard. Can't we pair up? You take the front, I'll take the back?
We could, but that won't help you in the long run. Maybe when you get strong enough to protect me, then we'll pair up, and you can carry me through battle.
That sounds impossible.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask. Have you decided to join the Dandelions?
I'm not sure yet.
What's holding you back?
Well, I like the people I'm with now. Besides...
Yeah?
There's someone I want to get to know. And if they're not a dandelion, I might never get the chance.
Does someone have a crush?
No. It's nothing like that.
Stay calm. Focus. Be brave.
Stop it, Lauriam! It's not like that, I swear!
Okay. You make everyone's lives so much brighter. People need that. They need your power. Believe in yourself.
Well, I don't know about that. Wait, you're not just saying that, are you?
Not at all. In fact, you just worked that power of yours on me. Things were feeling dull, but now I'm looking forward to what's in store for tomorrow.
Then let's pair up.
Nope. But I will come running if you're ever in trouble.
No.
Huh?
You told me what I need to do, so that's what I'll do. I will get stronger. I will carry you one day.
I like the sound of that. What? Strelitzia? Strelitzia!
Lauriam?
Strelitzia?
Lauriam,
Strelitzia. I was fighting and... She's gone. Strelitzia,
What is this world?
It's the real world. Congratulations on your successful escape.
I have returned to my own time?
No, this is still the past. You just made it back to the real world from the data world.
My patience wears thin. tell me how to return to where and when I came from.
With this pod.
What? Then why have you brought me here?
We had to leave the data world before we could even try to travel through time.
Why not do both at once?
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. The lifeboat was only made to travel to other worlds, so we're already pushing it to its limits.
No matter. So long as I finally reach my destination this time.
Of course.
And will you be joining me? You should be able to, seeing as you have no physical form to hinder you.
I'll stay here. You'll be fine on your own, and I have some unfinished business to take care of.
Huh? Oh. Is Ven alright?
He's fast asleep in his room. He seemed pretty exhausted.
Oh.
He had his head in his hands the whole time. The memories that came back must have been a real shock. None of this is his fault, right? Can you tell us what's going on?
We still don't know all the facts, but going by Vin's story, we know he was there during Strelitzia's final moments. As for who's behind this whole thing...
Darkness.
What?
Yes. Darkness could be much closer than we thought, working right under our noses.
He has to be here. This is the only place we haven't checked.
Maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me.
Hello? Is anyone here? Hello?
I guess I was wrong.
Well, it was worth a shot. I'll head back to Fountain Square.
Okay, I'll keep searching.
What?
Pick that up.
Why?
Let's go.
Lauriam.
Have you ever spoken with darkness?
Sure have.
What was it like?
Well, it wasn't much of a conversation. Didn't feel like I was getting through to it and vice versa. Imagine trying to talk to someone with a very unconventional thought process.
Huh, like you. That's exactly what I mean.
You know, Luxu, some people actually respect their seniors. And maybe that's a novel concept to someone as cold-hearted as you. In fact, I'd say you have more in common with darkness than I do.
Anyway, darkness can at least understand what we're saying, right?
Well, of course. They've been watching us for long enough.
Really? Are they watching now?
Oh, possibly. Kidding. Kidding. No, they're not here. They wouldn't come near us without a good reason.
That wasn't funny.
It was kind of funny.
Anyway, what about Ava's wielders, the dandelions? What if they come face to face with darkness? They're tasked with the great duty of rebuilding our world. If anything happens to them...
Look, anyone who faces darkness is gonna have a bad time. You can't predict what they're gonna do or say. And they're really good at playing mind games.
So the dandelions are in danger!
Maybe so. But if there's one thing darkness has an aversion to, it's those who are pure of heart. Their thoughts and emotions are completely foreign and utterly baffling. The same goes for all people. While darkness may recognize what we're up to, they can't comprehend our reasons. All they know is that we're the enemy. They'll never understand us, just like we'll never understand them. And that's why we'll always be at odds.
What's their endgame?
Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine.
So, if darkness is behind this whole thing, it must be close by. But why hasn't it tried to harm us? What does it want?
Do you think it's watching us? Waiting to make a move?
I don't know. I'm not even sure that it is responsible for all this. But it's the only theory that makes sense. If I'm right, and it's close, it knows we're onto it. It could be putting its plan into action as we speak.
So, it might come for us.
Yeah, like it did for Lauriam's sister.
Is that what happened to her? But why?
I don't know why it targeted Strelitzia. I just...
What did you say?
Lauriam!
Lauriam, what happened?
Targeted? For what? What did you mean by that? What happened to her? Answer me!
Stop!
Get off me!
So this is the plan. Clever.
What plan?
Darkness's plan. Fear, doubt, anger. It's purposely messing with our hearts and making us turn on each other.
Lauriam, please!
I don't understand.
Please, just listen.
Tell me what happened to my sister.
It's my fault.
Ven, what are you...
Explain yourself, Ven.
I'm sorry, Lauriam. I'm responsible for what happened to
Ven,
her.
That's not true!
Ven, what did you do to Strelitzia?
Ven!
Lauriam, stop!
Ven, answer me!
Stop it! This isn't you!
Stay out of this! Answer me!
wasn't me. It wasn't me!
What is that?
A monster?
What's going on?
I see. Your darkness.
Finally. It's about time.
I have to say, I didn't expect you to look like such a cliché.
So you say, but I have no form to speak of. We mostly go unnoticed, after all. What you see and hear now is for your benefit.
What do you want?
Want? I want nothing. I simply am.
Huh?
It must be hard for you to understand. We're very different. Unlike you, our actions don't serve a greater purpose or goal.
Then why did you take my sister? Why Strelitzia?
It was his will.
I don't believe you. Ben didn't even know her. Besides, he would never wish that on anyone.
You're right. They were strangers, but what he wished for was power. I simply helped him fulfill that wish by making him a union leader.
Ben would never want that!
Wouldn't he?
Even if he did, he wouldn't go so far as to take it from someone, or steal their spot as a leader.
Power is power. How it's acquired is of no consequence.
Then, it could have been any of us. It didn't have to be Strelitzia.
Yes.
You!
Lauriam!
I have a few questions.
Go on.
Why Vin?
Because it was decided.
What was?
That he would harbor darkness.
Your vessel was chosen?
Yes. It was written in the Book of Prophecies.
You've read the book?
In a manner of speaking, yes. At least the parts that matter to us.
How?
We read the words as they were being written.
In the book?
Yes.
What exactly is your relationship with the Master?
We're old friends.
Friends? Then you and the Master are on the same side?
We have no need to side with people.
Alright, next question. You've hidden from us all this time. Why show yourself now?
You're wrong. We haven't been hiding. You simply never noticed us before. All that's changed is that you finally acknowledged our existence.
Last question. You keep saying we, but what do you mean?
Shadows outnumber light.
Okay, last question. Are you the only one here right now?
Yes.
Good to know.
Huh?
Ephemer, Skuld, you ready? This is gonna be rough.
I'm really worried about the dandelions.
The book tells of a future with light. That's proof they'll be fine.
Are you sure?
Well, it's a pretty long read, so I skipped over the details of each individual person's fate.
Even though our future depends on them?
You're not gonna let this go, are you? Tell you what, it's your role to keep watch, so why not watch over them while you're at it? But nothing more than that. Don't go getting your hands dirty.
Oh, okay. Time's almost up, dandelions.
It's over.
Yeah. I can't take you down alone. I'm not even sure I could wear you down.
Fair point.
Shall we call it done, then?
Oh, so you surrender.
You claimed you aren't after anything, but I'm not buying it.
What?
You seem pretty desperate to get in our way showing up like this. I don't know if it's pride or fear, but there's a reason you're still here.
Infection.
Meaning?
Data transfer requires a signal. The same goes for the hearts and minds of you humans. You underestimate how easily the darkness rides on those signals and spreads through this place.
Is that why you wormed your way into the data world? But then why hide inside Vin?
I told you, because it was decided.
That's enough.
Skuld! You're alright!
You're saying because it was written in the Book of Prophecies, it was meant to be? Well, I don't care. You hijacked Ven and attacked Lauriam's sister, and now you're gonna pay for it!
That's right.
We are many, and we are one. But to be one requires will. Through him, we could divide into pure darkness and light, willful and distinct. It was a sacrifice that needed to be made.
So, Ven didn't attack Strelitzia. You did. Is that right?
Lauriam!
I figured you guys could use some help.
One more ally will make no difference.
Then how about two?
Damien!
It's useless. Even if you do manage to defeat us, you will still lose.
I don't think so. We're taking you down and going back to the real world.
And how do you plan on doing that? With the lifeboat?
Yeah, just like the evil fairy, right?
You know nothing.
How do you figure?
If you return, Daybreak Town will still succumb to darkness.
What have you done to the real world?
Nothing. It was decided long ago. When the lifeboat is activated, this world falls to darkness. It is already in motion, the beginning of the end.
But why?
The lifeboat is the last line of defense, to be relied upon in the event we cannot be defeated. Its use initiates the process to seal this world, and us along with it. The evil fairy's departure was the trigger. It cannot be stopped.
But that means...
We're just a bunch of pawns?
No, I don't believe it. Master Ava is the one who brought us together. I don't know about the other masters, but I know for sure that Master Aeba would throw us away like that!
Besides, it doesn't matter what the masters may have had planned for us. We believe in our leader.
Let's do this!
I'm rooting for you.
Need some help.
You ready?
Lauriam, I'm sorry.
Let's do it!
Together! Let's do this! Give me strength! Go! Did we win?
I am formless. You cannot destroy me.
Huh?
You.
The Doglings. They're off to Ven?
But why?
Ven!
If you're pure darkness, then that makes me pure light. If you use me to reshape yourself, then I can reshape you again. I'll give you a new form that we can defeat!
Ven!
Lauriam.
I can't lose you too.
Everything's going to be alright.
Now to check on the data.
Aren't you supposed to be part of the whole?
What?
Or are you acting on your own right now? Is that it?
Who are you? There shouldn't be any Keyblade Masters left in this world.
I stayed.
Luxu.
Figures you wouldn't know what's going on, seeing you didn't take a very good look at the book.
Why are you here? You're only meant to observe.
I'm here because your friend, the Master of Masters, told me to be. Said I could watch what happens, but not to act. Look, but don't touch. He always said the strangest things. But I've thought about it for a long time, and I think I know what he meant now.
If you use that, your plan is as good as ruined.
It's not for me.
What is that?
A seed of light to be planted in the future. The true dandelion.
I hope everything's okay.
I'm sure it is.
Lauriam knows it wasn't Ven's fault, right?
Should we check on them?
No, Lauriam said everything was fine.
All right. Do you really think the world is going to end?
I'm not sure. There's a lot we don't know about this world, the Keyblade Masters, darkness.
Yeah.
But think back to what Master Ava taught us. That when this world is shrouded in darkness, it'll just go to sleep.
I remember that.
It's not much, I know, but it's enough to keep me from giving up hope. I played a part in bringing the dandelions together, so I have a responsibility to save everyone, and I'm gonna try my best to do that.
It's not your responsibility alone. But whatever you do decide to do, you have our support. I want you to know that.
Thanks for always being there, Skuld. Huh? Oh, hi there.
I'm sorry, Ventus. I know it wasn't your fault, I just needed someone to blame. Darkness is so abstract. My anger needed a simple, tangible target. Selfish of me, I know, but some emotions are too much to bear. Tell me, is darkness really gone, or has it become a part of you, just like you said? If it has, then
Hatred, anger, and sadness. That's exactly what they want. You have to let it go. What happened to my kind and loving brother?
Strelitzia?
Lauriam, someone's here to see you.
Who? Elrena? What are you doing here?
Well, I thought you should know. It's about Strelitzia. Chirithy claims to have seen her.
What?
Huh?
You saw my sister. Where?
Maybe it wasn't her, but a few days ago. I spotted someone who looked an awful lot like her headed toward town from the hill. And she wasn't alone. She was with someone in a black coat.
But how?
We can't be sure of anything yet, but it's definitely an interesting piece of information.
A black coat can only mean one of the Keyblade Masters?
Most likely. Both the Master of Masters and Luxu fit the description.
But the Master shouldn't be here, even if this were the real world. Wait a minute. Maybe...
What is it?
Do you remember why this data world was created?
As a backup of the real one.
Right, to save the world as it was before the Keyblade War. That means Strelitzia's data must be stored here too.
Really? I thought this place was just a copy of the world, not its people. Besides, if everyone's data was brought over, shouldn't there be versions of us here too?
Yep. Our data should be here as well. Could be that it's still locked up and hasn't been touched yet. Think about it. Elrena saw a glitched version of Strelitzia. If what Chirithy says is true, maybe her data is here and someone managed to access it.
I don't understand. Why Strelitzia? And if her data does exist, does that mean we can bring her back?
I don't know.
Who Who would do something like that? As far as we know, all of the masters are gone.
We'll probably have more luck finding answers in the real world.
About that, if what Darkness said was true, we should be able to use the lifeboat in the basement to get back. But if that's somehow linked to the end of this world...
We don't have time to think about that now. Come on, let's go to the basement. Would you mind carrying Ven?
Not at all.
I don't know who you sent, but there are 5 left. Who will they go to?
You didn't read that part of the book?
It wasn't of any interest to me.
So what is then?
Expansion.
I don't get you.
Nor we you. You spent time grooming these wielders, only to trap and leave them behind in the data world. Why?
Don't know. Who knows what the Master of Masters is thinking?
And yet you follow him?
Why not? I may not know the reasoning behind everything he does, but I can guess.
But you're not certain.
No, but I am sure of one thing. He is not a fan of darkness.
I see. That we understand. We're not fond of light either.
So, what's your brilliant plan?
To spread throughout the data world using its signals. To accompany the Chosen One into the future, so I can lay claim to worlds not yet created.
Right, expansion. So no matter what world or time I end up in, you'll be there too, huh? I don't think so.
Oh? I thought you were told not to interfere.
Yeah, to help the dandelions. But I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for me.
I am formless. You cannot destroy me.
I know.
Then why waste the effort?
The longer you exist without a tangible form, the more your will fades. Darkness had form when the Master of Masters was a boy, right? You abandoned it to defeat light. That's when darkness became a whole. But then you realized that you couldn't maintain your will as one or as a whole. Which is why you still need a physical form. You call it infection and expansion, but you're just stealing the bodies of those with hearts. You act like it's this grandiose plan when it's actually sad and pathetic.
Silence!
You never even figured out his real plan, did you?
What?
Let me ask you this. Besides you, there are 5 other shadows with individual will. I know at least one is in the data world. So where are the other 4?
You're well informed. Yes, 6 of us remained after the war. After which, we found ourselves in the data world.
But you returned to the real world with the evil fairy, meaning the rest are still there.
Yes.
Then you're the only one in my way.
As you are in mine.
And this box need to stay out of sight. Just watch with your own eyes, and my eye, of course, as things unfold between the others. Then, when the time is right, go off and do your thing.
What's in it?
It's a secret. And, well, you see, the thing is, you can never, ever open it.
Great, now I really want to know.
Alright, I'll indulge you. But this secret stays between the two of us, and you have to promise never to open the box.
I promise. But why?
You'll see.
Can't you just tell me now?
And ruin the surprise. Well, I'd hate for anything to happen to you, so I will give you one little hint.
I'm listening.
When darkness strikes at dawn and the lifeboat departs, this world will have fulfilled its purpose. If that happens, you have to see it through to the end, and take a corridor to a new world as fast as you can.
The world is going to end?
Haven't I told you? There's no way for us to win against the darkness. That's why we needed to use the time we had to get all those Keyblade wielders ready to pass the torch to the next generation. This world exists to nurture the dandelions, our little seeds of light, so they can be sown into the future, where they can stop the darkness. Then the sun will finally set on this duskless dawn. And our plan will have succeeded at last.
I'll get started then.
Oh, wait. I almost forgot.
There's more?
Like I said, we've been fighting darkness for a long time. During this battle, darkness shed its form and began attacking our hearts instead of our bodies, claiming countless allies of mine along the way. But at some point, darkness realized that without form, they would eventually lose their individual will, which brings us to now.
Darkness has no form?
From 7, all is fulfilled. From 13, chaos is born. As it states, darkness began as 13. Without form, they spread throughout and became a whole. The ones that continued to spread and derived their own forms became the heartless, while those without forms developed individual will. And now the formless yearn to take over the bodies of those with strong hearts.
Strong hearts?
You can't destroy darkness if it has no form, which is why you need a vessel with a strong heart. That's where you all come in.
Wait a minute.
I know how it sounds, but believe me when I say that I didn't train you all just to turn you into vessels. I pushed you to become resilient enough to withstand darkness, even if it were to take over your hearts.
This was your plan.
This is war between people and something entirely different. You can't afford to get sentimental. You need to be pragmatic. I chose this fate for you because I believed you could bear it. Now, listen. There are 13 darknesses. Of those 13, we'll trap the most powerful 7 inside the hearts of each of us. We'll all go our separate ways and destroy the darkness wherever we end up. That's the true purpose of the Keyblade War.
Is it really necessary for the unions to betray each other? Is the war the only way?
It is. I used the passage in the book about the traitor to plant doubt inside all of you, for darkness to feed on. For them to take the bait, we all need to harbor true, real emotions. And when emotions grow and clash, they'll get stronger. And eventually, the 7 shadows will try to take over our hearts.
And you want them to succeed?
Yes. As for the remaining 6, 5 will feed on the Union leaders, and the last one will be trapped in this world.
You can't do this! The sacrifice is too great!
I told you not to let sentiment cloud your judgment. It's a tragedy when darkness takes over someone's heart. I know that all too well, because I've seen those that I cared about, my closest allies, drown in darkness. This isn't some heroic tale about the battle between light and darkness. It's about honoring the dignity of those with hearts. Besides, I'm not planning on sacrificing anyone. I have a safety plan. May your heart be your guiding key. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. You are the key to the future. I'm counting on you. Traitor Luxu.
I count 6.
The evil fairy took the 7th.
But there are 7 of us.
So we're short one.
2. This one's broken, so we're down to 5.
What should we do?
Huh?
What?
We're running out of time. We need to decide who goes.
But we're not the only dandelions.
Yeah, what about the rest of the wielders?
They'll go to sleep. Just like a computer in sleep mode.
Sleep?
Master Ava taught us that, remember? When all is shrouded in darkness, the world will fall into slumber.
Right.
The Master of Masters knew this would happen and created a backup of the world. A place to shelter and keep us safe. That's where we are. And if something causes this world to freeze, it can be rebooted and restored. The end of this world is nothing like the end of the real one. Like I said, sleep mode.
So, it's not this world we need to be worried about.
Even if we use the lifeboat to get back, we'll have to use it again to go wherever it is that we need to go after. And who knows where that'll be? Is escape really the right answer?
Whether we stay or go, it's a gamble.
Right. But if no one goes back, then no one there will know what's happened here. There'll be no rescuing anyone left behind.
And we can't let that happen. We Keyblade wielders need to live on.
Ephemer and I should split up.
Agreed. Brain, you should go back. Having you in the real world will give us the best chance to save the people here.
Got it.
I'm not a union leader or anything, so...
Listen, the only way to make it out of this is to go back. We're the ones responsible for this whole situation in the first place. So you, Ven, and Damien should go.
Brain, Damien, Elrena, and Ven each take one. Skuld, Lauriam, one of you should take the
Lauriam, it's yours.
What?
If there's a chance you'll get your sister back, then you need to be there for her. Besides, you'll have a better chance of finding answers over there. You should take it.
I don't deserve a spot.
Yes, you do. You gave me hope for the first time since Strelitzia went missing. Help me find her, please.
There's only one way out of here, and the seating's limited. For now. When I get back, I promise I'll find a way to save everyone here.
Thanks. Alright, we don't have much time. Who's going?
I'll stay. I'm not even a dandelion. I'm just here as your friend. So if you're staying, so am I.
Damien.
Besides, I don't want to have to wait around for you again.
I'm not leaving you two here.
Well, why don't we save one for later? I might be able to find a way to rescue all three of you at once.
You already have something in mind, don't you?
Sure do.
Then it's settled. Lauriam, can you look after Ven? Hop in, Elrena. Brain, take care of everyone.
Will do. Here, take it.
Huh? But this is yours.
It was meant for you. This too. I didn't end up using it, but if you're ever lost, don't hesitate to have a look. It'll help you when you need it most.
I'll hold on to these for now. But as far as I'm concerned, they still belong to you. Master Ava entrusted them to you for a reason.
Oh, I thought you'd be happy. Master Ava told me you've been wanting to read the book for a long time. Besides, I'm pretty sure she gave these to me knowing I would do just this. May your heart be your guiding key, Ephemer. Just like mine is for me.
Thanks.
I'll be back for you guys.
Damien, are you sure about this?
Yep. I'm right where I want to be.
Be safe.
Any progress?
Well, I tried looking for a way to get everyone back at once using the existing system, but it's not a viable option with the time we have.
So that's it?
There might be another way. Not for all the dandelions, but I think I can help Ephemer and the others at least. But before I do anything, I want you to hop back in the lifeboat.
What?
I need to work quickly to have a decent shot at this. But first, I'm going to get you out of this world.
What's your plan?
Return 2 of the pods to the data world. That way, the three of them will each have one.
Will that work?
Only one way to find out. Get in.
Will you really be okay on your own?
The only Union leader who can escape right now is you. Ephemer gave me this chance to keep hope and light alive. And now, I'm passing it on to you. Let me do this.
All right.
I don't know where or when you'll end up, but keep your goal, your waypoint, etched in your heart.
I will. I assumed people's data just didn't exist when I couldn't find my sisters. But I was wrong. It does.
Then that will be the waypoint to guide you. I hope you get to see her again.
I hope I get to see you again, too.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Brain!
Who?
So it's just you?
Do you think they all got there safely?
Of course. Brain's with them.
Yeah, he's always got a plan. Unlike someone I know.
What? Hey!
I can't believe the world is ending.
Yeah, it's so quiet.
Huh? Guys? Guys!
What?
How?
There are 4 of them?
No need for alarm. We are not here to fight. We merely ask that you open our gate before you leave.
Gate?
Oh yes. The darkness you fought must have told you on purpose. Infection. We will travel through portals and infect other worlds.
And you thought we'd just agree to that?
You have no choice. We overpower you.
We could take over one of you here and now.
You can open our gate of your own will, or out of regret and shame at losing a friend before your very eyes.
I won't do it! Yeah!
Fools.
Once this starts, get in the lifeboat.
Huh?
One of us needs to survive.
Fools.
Huh?
What?
This is why people cannot defeat darkness.
Damien? What's wrong with you?
Stop!
Damien's heart has been lost to darkness.
No!
Damien!
He cannot hear you.
Wait, are you?
I am formless. You cannot destroy me.
I thought we dealt with you.
Damien.
Open our gate, and he will be returned.
No.
I will handle this alone.
This isn't you! How could this happened?
Why, Damien?
Skuld, you ready?
Ready, Ephemer!
Light!
If only you had gotten in the lifeboat.
Stop! Damien!
Let your hatred grow. It fuels us.
No! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So it's just you?
That's right. You are?
Luxu.
Huh?
One of the Master of Masters' apprentices.
Master Luxu? I thought you disappeared before the unions were created.
None of that matters now. Tell me, are you a union leader?
Yes, my name's Brain.
And you're the only one here, I see. Where are the others?
One escaped, but 2 are still in the data world.
That makes 4. What about the 5th? Are they gone?
Yes.
I see. So that's yours then?
No. 3 of my friends stayed behind in the data world. I'm going to send both of these there, and with the one they already have, they can all get back.
Then what will you do?
Stay here and stay alive as long as I can. I need to wake as many of the dandelions stuck in the data world as possible.
Wake?
Master Ava taught us that when a world becomes enveloped in darkness, it falls into slumber.
It does. But the data world is different.
How so?
That world was built as a cage to entrap darkness. If it falls to darkness, that's it.
No.
And another thing. The lifeboat is incomplete. Whoever uses it needs 2 things at their destination. Someone with memories of them, and a vessel to occupy. Were you aware of that?
More or less.
Do you have a plan?
Well, I'll figure it out, no matter how long it takes.
You're pretty smart, aren't you? It's a shame this lifetime is the only one you've got.
Ephemer.
Let's go home. Oh.
Well done.
Using anger to get them to open our gate for us. Through this portal, we can access and infect countless worlds.
It's time you rid yourself of that brittle human vessel. unless you wish to waste away along with it.
Why are you laughing?
I didn't think tricking you guys would be so easy. Are all of you this gullible?
What?
You don't have a physical form, but you need a key to unlock doors for you. Seems real inconvenient. Ephemer locked the gate back there. This one here is locked too. Looks to me like you have no way out.
You! It was all an act?
Took you long enough. How does it feel to be outsmarted?
Why, you...
Damien.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you into this too.
They all made it out.
What should we do, Ephemer?
Let's take a look outside. Skuld, it's way too dangerous out here. Let's go back inside.
It takes so much time and effort to create, but only an instant to destroy.
Come on.
Okay.
What do you plan to do with this world?
When twilight ends, a new day begins. You see, this world exists in 3 stages. First, countless Keyblade wielders are brought together. Then, as they fight through fear and see their leaders fall, their numbers dwindle, while others learn to stand on their own. Finally, those left must decide what to do when faced with darkness in a sealed-off world. And when all 7 of the lifeboats' pods depart, this world will end, and a new day will dawn.
So you came to this world just to end it?
Well, that wasn't my express purpose.
You have the Book of Prophecies, and therefore knowledge of all things. Strange that you would knowingly waste your time and efforts.
You think the book tells us everything? Yeah, right. No way I'd have let you peek at something that important. No, the book doesn't cover much at all. Just what the Keyblade I gave to Luxu sees. And even then, only the bits important enough to jot down. But to be honest, It doesn't matter what the book does or doesn't contain. What matters is the point at which it was written, and how to get there.
What do you mean?
Anyone who tries to travel through time on the lifeboat will lose their body. To become whole again, they'll require two things at their destination: a medium to rebuild their body, and someone with memories of them. The book contains a waypoint.
All this was for a waypoint?
Sure was. Luxu has the memories, and my eye is the medium. I've got a direct line from A to B.
You used the book and your apprentice to travel into the future?
I mean, that's not my final goal, but it is an important step. One that I won't be taking alone.
The 7 pods and the 7 crowns.
For the 7 lights.
Including your apprentice?
Who knows? Anyone could wind up using them.
You're even more clever than I thought.
I could say the same about you. What are you all up to anyway?
What indeed?
In any case, I'm tired of watching you duke it out. Although I did see something interesting in the future.
What might that be?
A world I can't even conceive.
You are difficult to understand.
You mean people?
No, just you.
Do you want to understand?
It is important to understand your enemy.
Is it important for darkness? Or just you?
All of us.
A chessboard makes for a small world. Easy to understand, easy to control. Now imagine, it expands slowly, one fairy tale at a time, without end or limit. No matter how large the world grows, no matter how many countless lives are spent expanding it, darkness spreads to every corner. It's kind of unfair, really. We can run and hide, but you always seem to stick with us every step of the way.
We are friends, after all.
I could use some alone time, you know.
So where is it that you plan to run off to next?
A new world. One that I can't even conceive. A world where neither light nor darkness rules.
Where might that be?
Do you know what sets people apart from other living beings? People want to believe in the future, even if they won't be around to see it. I want to believe too. Believe in a world beyond what we can imagine. A world of fiction.
Fiction? Not the data world?
Nope. If you imagine hard enough, you can't make anything a reality. Like I said, a world I can't even conceive.
And that is?
A place where voices and sight can't reach. A world.
Skuld, get in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Thank you for being here, Ephemer. I'm glad I don't have to face the end alone.
It's not over till it's over, Skuld.
Right.
Damien.
What's happening?
We're connected to the hearts of our Keyblade wielders. When your heart disappears, so do we. And when you fall asleep, we become your protectors.
Am I going to sleep too?
That's up to you.
I can choose not to?
If you don't, your heart will simply melt into a new one. What is it?
It's not over yet.
Huh? Good night.
May my heart be my guiding key. Huh? Where am I? Huh?
You must be Brain.
I am.
Here. Just as I thought.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. My name is Sigurd. Could you give me a moment? I need to make a report. Apologies for the wait. Come, I'll take you to our headquarters.
Headquarters? What are you talking about?
It was decided that you would escape Daybreak Town amidst its destruction and arrive here today, and that we would welcome you.
It was decided? What do you mean?
Allow me to explain once we get there.
Wait, what about the others? Some of my friends escaped with me.
You are the only one who arrived in this time. I realize this must all be very confusing, but if you would please come with me.
Huh? Is that?
The original Keyblade Master and founder of this town, Skala Adkailum. That is Master Ephemer.
I know. He was a good friend.
Even on a world line with no Keyblade War, peace is but a dream. In the absence of us and our master, a darkness arrived, one that shall surely lead the world to yet another demise. Amid the chaos, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, just as the master instructed. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world line, at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wielders will live on. And now, Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means casting my own body aside and sojourning my heart in vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. But I will continue gazing upon each passing era, one into the next. In time, be it years or decades, centuries or millennia, I will meet the 5 once more. Somewhere in this cyclical history of bequeathings, a chosen one will appear and reenact the Keyblade War. When this scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand, this will be the time to take the stage and finish my role. The Lost Masters will awaken.